So this article caught my attention. Jonah Hill will no longer promote his films to avoid anxiety attacks. Important steps to protect myself. So I just like to read some quotes from here from this article. So these are all from Jonah Hill. I have finished directing my second film, a documentary about me and my therapist, which explores mental health in general called Stutz. The whole purpose of making this film is to give therapy and the tools I've learned in therapy to a wide audience for private use through an entertaining film. Hill continued, through this journey of self discovery with the film, I have come to the understanding that I've spent nearly 20 years experiencing anxiety attacks, which are exacerbated by media appearances and public facing events. Okay, and the 21 Jump Street alum went on to write that he is grateful that Stutz will premiere at a prestigious film festival this fall. All right. And he also says, in the hope that it will help those struggling. So I'm just looking through here for any other quotes. So here's another one I'm going to read. So he said that the privileged few who can afford to take time off, and that he said, quote unquote, won't lose my job while working on my anxiety. He hopes that being transparent about his anxiety will make it more normal for people to talk and act on the stuff so they can take steps towards feeling better, and so that people in their lives might understand their issues more clearly. Quote unquote, he says, I hope the work will speak for itself, and I'm grateful to my collaborators, my business partners, and to all reading this for your understanding support, he concluded in his letter. So that's interesting that Jonah Hill has suffered from anxiety attacks for years. I would have never known that the way he's able to present himself. That goes to show you how these actors are really good at training themselves, that they can hide their emotions very well. For me, I always remember Jonah Hill. Probably my first image of him was really from the movie Superbad during the late 2000s in '07 and Knocked Up. Those are movies where he really stood out to me. And the other movies I can think of are 21 Jump Street and Wolf of Wall Street. He's always been an entertaining character from a comical perspective. And he's also been that character I feel that most people could relate to more so than any of the other characters in the movies he's been in. So he's always been a relatable guy. I don't know how he is in real life, if he's the same type of guy he presents himself to be in the movies. He could be totally different. But then again, some of these actors always play themselves on the screen, it seems like, from what I've seen. So I don't know what he's like outside of these movies, but I've enjoyed his movies, I can say this, and I always commend people, whether it's celebrities or athletes, for coming out about mental health. I think it's a big thing in our society, especially American society, the way things are going. I think everybody suffers to some degree something mentally in their lives. So for him to come out there and just willing to combat the stigma of having mental health problems such as anxiety attacks, I think it can definitely make a difference for a lot of people out there who need inspiration to overcome whatever they're going through mentally. So I think it's good in that regard, and also just to promote to people, if they're suffering from something mentally, not to just suffer in silence, but to actually go out and get help. Granted, I wish the treatments for people who suffer from mental health were more affordable. You look at something like therapy, and it's really expensive. Like, just, I think therapy is like $100 an hour or more than that. I just wish we had a way to make it affordable so that not just people who are privileged can get it, just regular people can get it, whether you're middle class or poor. If you need it, it's accessible. So that's really the next thing. I think we need to find a way to work on that, to make it affordable so more people can get treated and they can get the help they need. I really do think mental health is something that America needs to attack aggressively. I think it is really an epidemic. I think it's bigger than, quote unquote, the war against drugs. I think This is an epidemic that's affecting millions of people's lives, and they're turning to toxic things to combat it, such as doing drugs, doing alcohol, doing all these other harmful things to deal with it. So I think we need to work hard as a society, American society, to give people the resources to deal with it. So I commend Jonah Hill for bringing out the PSA on mental health and just talking about anxiety, because I think anybody can suffer from anxiety attacks, not just him, but it can happen once in a while. I remember I had one many years ago, so I know how that feels. Just that one moment where you lose control. So it can definitely happen to anybody. So yeah, that's all I have to say about it.